Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bhanudas Naik, Assistant Professor from the city's Dhempe College of Arts and Science, Miramar, Goa, and I'll be talking on angel investment, venture capital funding opportunity for early stage entrepreneurs. So let us discuss what's the meaning of startup funding. So basically, startup funding is the money required to start and run a business. It's a financial investment in a company for product development, manufacturing, expansion, sales and marketing, office space and inventory. Many startups prefer not to raise funding from third parties and are funded by their founders to prevent debt and equity dilution. Majority of startups do raise funding eventually as they grow larger and scale their operations. So the question is now, why startups need a money or funds? So startup require funding for prototype creation, product development, team hiring, working capital, legal and consulting services, raw material and equipments, licenses and certifications, marketing and sales, to build office space and admin expenses. So India has a great potential for startup. Some ideas for setting up small businesses are um, automobile repairs, tiffin service, electronics repairs, blogging as a small business, private tutoring, pet care service, educational mobile apps, bake and cake, and electronics field. Now, India has a good success story of startup and early stage entrepreneurs. So I am listing here top 20 startups in India in the year 2022. Some of the examples are Cred, Grow, Delivery, Slice, Ether, Extract, etc. So there are different funding opportunities or funding options available for startups. They are both provided by government and private entities. These are equity financing, debt financing, and grants. Under equity financing, we have angel investors, self-financing family and friend venture capitalists, crowdfunding, incubators, and accelerators. Under debt financing, we have banks, non-banking financial institutions, government loan schemes, and under grants, we have central government, state government, corporates, which provide grants for private entities. So now we'll talk about government schemes for startups for funding support. So these are Small Industry Development Bank of India fund of fund scheme. Under this, Government of India form a fund of rupees 10,000 crore to increase capital availability as well as to catalyze private investment and thereby accelerate the growth of the Indian startup ecosystem. Another scheme is Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. Under this, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has created Startup India Seed Fund Scheme for the rupees 945 crore, which aim to provide financial assistance to startups for proof of concept, prototype development, product trials, market entry, and commercialization. Another option is debt financing, that is government loan schemes, that is the Mudra loan, Stand Up India. These are the source of funding. So now question is, what is the need of angel investors in India? So angel investors for startups in India are individual or companies that fund a startup in beginning stages, especially when a startup cannot raise venture capital. Angel network investments provide the necessary financial impetus for a new business in return of equity ownership or revenue sharing. Angel investors are private investors that invest their own money. Now I'll talk about characteristics of angel investors. So basically, angels are high net worth individuals who make equity investment in startup and early stage businesses and companies. Angel investors is one of the funding options in ecosystem of support. They support at a critical early stages when companies are taking shape or beginning to grow. Another characteristic of angel investors are angel investors provide more favorable terms compared to other lenders since they usually invest in the entrepreneur starting the business rather than viability of the business. Also, angel investors are focused on helping startup to take their first steps rather than the possible profit they may get from the business. So, angel investors provide more than money. This means that they also provide mentoring and advice to entrepreneurial teams. Since they are experienced veterans themselves, they can also serve on the board of their company. Now, we'll discuss SEBI requirements for angel investors in India. So, SEBI issues guidelines for the investments in India. So basically, SEBI is Securities and Exchange Board of India, the regulatory body for securities and commodity market in India under the ownership of Ministry of Finance, Government of India. It was established on 12th April 1988 as an executive body and was given statutory power on 30th January 1992 through SEBI Act. So, Securities and Exchange Board of India has set up list of eligibility criteria for angel investors in India concerning minimum net asset and related requirements. So now we'll discuss SEBI Alternative Investment Funds Regulation 2012. So Security Exchange Board of India issues act, regulation, guidance, circular, etc., and they can be viewed, or they can be if interested candidates can log in into their website www.sebi.government.in for the details. So now we'll talk about alternative investment funds in accordance to SEBI. So what's alternative investment fund? It is basically it is any fund established or incorporated in India which is privately pooled investment vehicle which collect funds from sophisticated investor, whether Indian or foreign, for investing in it according with the defined investment policy for benefit of its investors. So now this is what are the different categories of alternate investment fund. There are basically three categories of alternate investment funds: category 1, category 2, and category 3. We'll focus on category 1 alternate investment fund. So they are venture capital funds and angel funds, small to medium enterprise funds, social venture funds, infrastructure funds. So now we'll go in details of category 1 alternate investment funds. So alternate investment funds which invest in startup or early stage ventures or social ventures or semi to medium enterprise or infrastructure or other sectors. So startup or ventures which the government or regulator consider socially or economically desirable. They include venture capital funds, small to medium enterprise funds, social venture funds, infrastructure funds. So now we'll discuss what is the meaning of angel investor in accordance to SEBI. So angel investor is an individual investor who has net tangible asset of at least 2 crore rupees excluding value of its principal residence, and who has early stage investment experience or has experience as a serial entrepreneur or is a senior management professional with at least 10 years of experience. Second criteria is a board. It is a body corporate with net worth of at least 10 crore rupees or is an registered under or an investment registered under this regulation or venture capital fund registered under SEBI regulation 1996. So angel fund shall accept up to a maximum period of 3 years an investment of less than not less than 25 lakh from the angel investor. So now we'll discuss what is meaning of venture capital. So venture capital is a form of private equity and type of financing that investors provide to startup companies and small businesses that are believed to have long-term growth potential. Venture capital generally comes from well-off investors, investment banks, and any other financial institutions. Venture capital modes are monetary. They come there. So basically, venture capital modes not only limited to monetary form. They can be in the form of technical or managerial expertise. So venture capital is typically allotted to small companies with exceptional growth potential, or to companies that have grown quickly and appear poised to continue and expand. So venture capital can be provided at different stages of their evolution. However, it often evolves early and seed round funding. So there are different types of venture capital. So venture capital can be broadly divided according to the growth stage of the company receiving the investment. So there are three stages: pre-seed, seed funding, and early stage funding. So pre-seed funding. This is the earliest stage of business development when founders try to turn an idea into a concrete business plan. They may enroll in a business accelerator to secure early funding and mentorship. Then seed funding. This is the point where the new business seeks to launch its first product. Since at this stage no revenue is earned, the company will require venture capitals to for all its operations. So then early stage funding, when business has developed a product, it will need additional capital to ramp up production and sales before it can become self-funding. So now discover the difference between angel investors versus venture capitalists. So angel investors and venture capitalists both fund companies in the both are fund companies and they are for returns. They are considered, however, they have a considerable difference between the two. Both invest in startup, but normally they get involved in different stages in the startup life cycle. Angel investor provide capital for an idea, whereas majority of venture capitals would invest looking at proof of concept in hand. Source of fund of angel investors are private investors that invest their own money. However, venture capitalist funds are run by managers who invest other people's money in addition to their own money. So now question is how to find an angel investor. So we can find angel investor through different means, and finding angel investor is a fairly streamlined process. So we can look for angel investor through Indian Angel Network. So Angel Network started in the year 2006. The objective is not only to funds but mentors startup in strategies execution to build a venture and has its focus on 16 sectors of investments. Another network is the Mumbai Angel Network. Mumbai Angel Networks has 700 plus investors in around 60 plus global cities. They invest in a diverse range of sectors that include technology, life science, electric vehicles, and many more. So another means to find angel investor is use of social media. So we can use professional networking sites. So small business seeking angel funding can also use social media to find good angel investment candidates. So they can log in to their professional networking sites and they can act as gateway for angel investors. So some of the networking professional networking sites they can look for is LinkedIn, Angel List, Opportunity, Meetup, Summary, Job Case, Video, Hired, and Zinc. Here I am listing India's top 10 angel investors. Some of the common names are Kunal Shah, Rohit Bansal, Anupam Mittal, etc. You can have a look at this. And they also invest in a variety of portfolio companies. Here I am listing 16 most active angel networks in India. Some of the known names are Angel List India, Mumbai Angels, the Chennai Angels, Stanford Angels, Venture Catalyst, Beat Spark, etc. So you can have a look here. So now question is how to find a venture capitalist company. So to the measures to find a venture capitalist firm include accountants and lawyers and bankers who work with your business can look for these venture capital firms. You can also go for pitch and networking events that allow you to meet potential investors. Also, you can seek help from business incubators that provide services, advice, and resources to new business owners. Some of the active venture capitalist firms in India are Sequoia Capital, Nexus Venture Capitals, Kalari Capitals, etc. So you can have a look at these venture capitalist firms for, for if you seek funding. So these are the references which I followed to make this presentation. Also, you can go through these sites for further details. Thank you all of you for being here and hearing my presentation. Thank you all of you.